Hi, I'm Danny with Renegade Game Studios, and I have Junk Orbit here. In Junk Orbit, we are each piloting a scrap ship, and we're flying around the galaxy, collecting junk, launching junk, and trying to deliver junk to the right places. I'm going to try and say junk a few more times in this demo until it has absolutely no meaning. On your turn, you're going to launch a piece of junk from the back of your spaceship, moving it however many spaces is indicated on the junk tile itself. The number is both the distance it will travel and the points you'll get at the end of the game if you deliver it. They have also a destination, so this piece of junk needs to be delivered to Hamilton on the moon. We all start on the moon, on Kepler. I will move 2 spaces right here. If I arrive at the destination itself, then I can consider this piece delivered, and I'll move it to the delivery side of my player board. If it's not the correct location, then I leave it on that space, and I move my spaceship the same amount of spaces but in the opposite direction. So the junk that you push out the back of your ship propels your ship forward because gravity and space. If your junk lands on a space with another player's ship, then their ship is hit and they are forced to discard some of the junk from their cargo. If they have no junk in their cargo, they have to discard a piece of delivered junk, which is great for you, bad for them, because that means they have to discard victory points that they already worked very, very hard to get. The game will end when one of these stacks is depleted, when we need to replenish the cities around a planet and there's nothing left to do that with. Then we add up all of our points from our deliveries. Whoever has the most points wins. It's easy to learn, but the gameplay is interesting. You're going to find yourself making these beautiful figure eights, very calming, very space-like, as you orbit the planets and try to math out your optimum move. You have player interaction as you send junk flying at other players' ships and as you pick up junk from other spaces. So it's very interesting and very mathy and very spacey. Each planet has a day side and a night side. We start the game on the day side when you're learning how. There aren't any extra rules, it's just what you see is what you get. However, if you flip over the boards, they're suddenly dark and ominous and full of player interaction. So they will give you different ways to score the junk depending on where it originated from, where you're delivering it to. Player boards also have an A and B side. Each player has their own power that will let you manipulate how junk moves or how your spaceship moves, or let you hit people harder. The B sides are completely different powers. They add a lot more player interaction. So there's player interaction already because you can send junk at other people, but the B sides will let you send more junk or make them discard more junk. So I prefer to play on these sides, gives you more to think about, and it's meaner. I have no pity for my opponents. You can't math out your turns perfectly every time, so you're going to be leaving junk behind you. You're also going to be picking it up, so your cargo is going to become very cluttered very quickly. And when there's 5 players, the board has these stacks of junk everywhere. You've got piles of just garbage in your ship. To sort of mitigate that, we have these moons of Mars that we add to the game for 4 and 5 players. With 2 or 3, we remove some of these tiles so the stacks are smaller, but for more players, we do add more locations so people have more room to putt around in space. The designer, Daniel Solis, is a huge geek. He, in his design, has filled the game chock full of references to very geeky, nerdy sci-fi things. So we do have real cities on Earth for the space moons and planets. We've got some made-up things, some references to sci-fi authors, some space-themed songs, some off-brand pop culture references, which you may be able to find, and also some references to other Renegade games. And I could list them all, it'd take me a few minutes, but I think it's more fun for you to discover them yourselves while playing the game.